Hi, my name's Phil Weymouth from Flyte So Fancy at Fulham. This is the first edition of Ask Phil, where basically our customers email or phone in and ask me questions about keeping chickens or chicken houses or anything like that really. So it's just a short video and away we go. A lady phoned in the other day, said to me, I've got 3 chickens. I'm not very comfortable with using chemical wormers. How do I keep my chickens worm free? The answer is this. You can do it using a range of products that we have here. But what I will say is if you see worms in your chicken's poo, okay, they've got worms, so you have to use a chemical wormer. Right, so when you're looking at your chicken poo, as we all do as chicken keepers, if it's yellow and foamy, then there's a chance they've got worms. If it's brown and foamy, then it's what they call a caecal dropping, which is basically your chicken having a wee. About 1 in 8 to 1 in 10 droppings are like this, so don't worry. But if it's yellow and very loose and that, then there's a fair chance that you've got worms in your chicken. If you see your birds gaping, which is where they stretch their neck forward, very good impression of a chicken, and open their mouths like this, it's because they've got a threadworm in their throats. You have to use a chemical wormer. The only licensed chemical wormer is called Flubenvet, and there is a Flubenvet 1% available from your vets, which you can give to your birds as a treatment for a week, and it's just below the level at which you would have to withdraw eating eggs. Personally, I still wouldn't eat them for a week. If you do have to use a chemical wormer, I would normally try and do it when the bird's molting and off lay, or else just off lay during the winter. The rest of the time, you can use any of these products here. Used on a routine, regular basis. They work on with herbs on a herbal basis to make the gut and intestines of the chicken an inhospitable place for worms to be. So they're using things like garlic and wormwood mixed in with them, and the worms just don't want to be there. So they tend to shed out through, and used regularly, they do work. Right, herbal treatments basically come in 2 forms, either food additives or feeds with the additives already in them, which of course makes dosing a lot easier. We have products such as Vermex, which comes in liquid or pellet form, depending on whether you want to put the treatment in your chicken's water or in the feed. You've got Easy Verm, which again is a similar sort of product to Vermex pellets. That is a pelleted form to go in the feed. And the Netex herbal gut conditioner, which is quite a good handy little dosing system on it for putting in. Now, all these additives, supplements as it were, you need to use once a month for a period of a few days. Personally speaking, I don't mess about giving them a little bit every day for 3 days or so. I tend to put 3 days worth of supplement in their feeder or their drinker, depending on what you're using, and once it's used up, that's them treated. The other way of doing it is to use the Copdoc Mill range layers mash or pellets, which as it says comes as either a mash or a pellet, depending on what you prefer. This has Vermex pellets mixed in it already, and you just use it as your standard feed. Now, it's more expensive than a normal layers pellet, but overall, if you've only got half a dozen birds or less, then it won't be any more expensive because you won't be paying for the supplements. And so you just feed them on this. It's a good quality pellet, and that'll solve the problem for you. So basically speaking, that's herbal wormers. Right, we'll be back again next week. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask Phil, then please either email us on info@flytesofancy.co.uk. Remember, that's flight with a Y. Or go on our Facebook page and message us in. If you're interested in any of the products that we've been showing you today, then you can go on to Flyte So Fancy's website at www.flytesofancy.co.uk, All the products are there and lots of useful information.